Hi, today we are going to make a thing that I'm assuming lots of people have made different variations of it. This is my variation. I call it egg bites. It's basically a little bacon and egg cup to have for breakfast. So you can make a bunch of them. You can see that we're going to use muffin tin. Make a whole bunch of them, stick them in the fridge, microwave 1 or 2 in the morning, have that for your breakfast. So that's the idea. Right, we're going to start by making the egg mixture. So I'm using 5 eggs, a bunch of bacon that I have diced, and we'll put some mozzarella in there as well. So really simple, crack eggs. The eggs and our bacon. In there. And then we're going to whisk it up. Now that's been mixed up a bit. We'll add in some cheese. Don't want to put too much, just enough to give it a bit of a binding quality. We're going to add some more on the top at the end, so just mix that in. Just gives it a bit more body, and hopefully it'll bind a bit better once it's melting. Put that all down there. Set that aside. Okay, now we're going to add the pastry into the cups. It's not too difficult. I'm just going to cut along the pastry so that I've got some squares. We're going to push the pastry in and we'll make our little cups. There's probably 100 different ways. There's probably better ways than the way I do it, but this is how I do it. The pastry is puff pastry, but again, you can use phyllo if you want. Cut that one very well. So you've got a sticky side and a not sticky side. Generally best to use the not sticky side to get it in. And this piece is not particularly malleable, but it's all right. Push it in. Doesn't matter if you get breaks, doesn't matter if it doesn't look nice. It's dough we're going to trim, we're going to push and mold, so it is perfectly fine. You can grease the tray beforehand. I use a non-slip, and so far, non-stick I should say, so far I've not had any problems getting them out when I've made them. Let it cool, contracts a little bit, and then they just pop right out easily. So, do that, got the ball of dough. At the end, you take a little bit off. See that I made a bit of a hole. We're going to press down any air pockets in the corners. That will make the bottom a little bit thin, so we'll squish this out. Little piece, nice and thin, nice and flat. And we're going to patch that little tear that I made. And we're going to continue to do this. Fill up all the others. Again, I'm not going for pretty, I'm going for function. So that will hold the mixture and we'll keep going. Okay, so I have now put the pastry in. We are now going to make, so actually just before I start that, you'll notice that some of these have a little air pocket. You can just prick it with the knife and squash it back, and as long as you don't leave too big a hole, it's not going to be a problem. And the reason it's not going to be a problem is we're about to make the bottom part. So you're going to get yourself a sausage. I have gone with these ones. These are a Louisiana sort of spicy sausage, the same ones that I used in my previous videos for making your sort of breakfast muffins or burgers. So we peel the casing off. We're going to take about half. We're going to mush that around. It's nice and soft, and then we're going to push that into the bottom. Now you might do it and go, oh, that's a lot. Don't be afraid to take some of the meat out, stick it into the next one. So we're gonna smush that down until we've got like a base of sausage, and we're gonna go ahead and do that for each of the cups. So now that we have it all filled with sausage, we're going to spoon in our egg and bacon mozzarella mix. And it's nothing too fancy. Try to be vaguely neat, but you know, you're just looking to get a decent mix of egg and bacon in there. Fill it up to the top to start with. As you go along, you might find that you're running out. Just add some more eggs. It's all good. As we go, nice little fill there. Sometimes I'll top it with a slice of salami or a slice of tomato, something along those lines. You don't have to, but it can add a little bit of spice. Now we can sprinkle a little bit of mozzarella on some of them. Just gonna decorate some of the ones that don't have too much in their mix. Because I do like my mozzarella, if you've been watching any of my videos. So now we're going to whack that in the oven. I cook it for 15 to 20 minutes on a medium heat. What that is for your oven, you'll have to sort of gauge. Mine is a gas oven, not fan forced. I put it at around 220-ish for 15 to 20 minutes. Check them after about 15. If it's nice and brown, everything looks cooked. Turn the oven off, leave them sit in that heat for maybe another 5 or 10 minutes. It will be something that you'll have to experiment with to get exactly the right cook. You want to make sure that the sausage and egg is cooked all the way through. So when you take it out, let it cool. I let it cool for about 10 minutes, maybe 20, and just have a poke, make sure that it's firm. After about 30 minutes of fully cooling, they should just pop out nice and easy. Cut one in half, make sure it's cooked all the way through. If it's not, you've got two options. You can either stick them back in the oven and let them continue to cook, or you can whack them in the microwave and run them 10 or 15 seconds, I should say, in the microwave, and check it again. And once it's fully cooked, then you let them cool completely, put them in the fridge, and in the mornings, pick it up, whack it in and microwave it. The reason I say don't leave it semi-cooked in the fridge and then microwave it in the mornings, this is egg and it is bacon, so it will breed salmonella. So you got to make sure that it's completely cooked before doing it. So I'm going to whack them in the oven and I'll come back when they're done. So I'm just taking out some of them that are easy to get out and leaving them to cool on this wire rack. This will just help the bases not go soggy. So some of them are being very nice and just lifting straight out, which is the advantage of a non-stick muffin tin when you're making these. Are, however, still very, very hot. So I do recommend letting them cool down until they're cool to the touch. You don't want them to be ice cold, but you do want them to get down to sort of a reasonable temperature before you start putting them in the fridge. So there you have it. They're egg bites.